And now, CCW News presents Holy Crap, This Is Actually Happening! Self-Owning Edition, October 16, 2022. I'm Chuck U. Farley. The big news this week is the season finale of the January 6th Pretend Trial. After airing several highly produced backstage videos complete with reality TV editing, wardrobe changes, and subtitles, they accidentally showed that Nancy Pelosi not only planned the whole thing, but filmed herself saying so while threatening to punch the POTUS. The scenes would have been more believable if old Nance could have remembered her lines and wasn't always looking at the camera. The season cliffhanger was that the committee decided to subpoena the actual person for whom the entire production was devised to bury. Unfortunately, just like the rest of the actors who testified, President Trump himself is just another not witness who wasn't actually there. After supplying Ukraine with free universal internet to help in their fight against Russia, warmongering liberals still dogpiled on Elon Musk for having the audacity to suggest a peace deal. Since they screeched that wanting peace means he's a Russian shill and a traitor, many of us normies wondered why he didn't just shut down Starlink and tell them where they could stick it. Musk, however, took a more diplomatic route by saying that SpaceX can no longer fund Starlink, and perhaps some of the billions in aid money Ukraine is milking from NATO could go to pay for their own bills. Meanwhile, down under, where they've outlawed self-protection so you can't fight back when they drag you to their re-education, voluntary mandatory quarantine camps, school children are being fed powdered cricket chips. I swear, I am not making this up. In a propaganda piece where adults behind the camera are trying to convince young children that the chips are absolutely delectable, the children are obviously not buying it. When asked what her favorite thing was about the chips, the little girl turned the package over to read her answer. Luckily, she was a much better actress than Pelosi. Speaking of bad actors, now that Trump doesn't completely make their network, next on CNN's chopping block is none other than intern accoster Jim Acosta. While things aren't official yet, internal sources are leaking like spaghetti strainers all over the Twitterverse. Word is that it will take time to fully clean house because, according to accounts from reporter John Nicosia, the insider said, quote, "They're getting an incredible amount of internal pushback from people who want to stay a resistance network." The shock is understandable, since CNN has spent the last decade being resistant to reporting real news. While honest doctors, nurses, and other practitioners were defamed, deplatformed, and even delicensed for following the science over the narrative, podcasters and YouTubers, including yours truly, were censored, stricken, and often deleted for discussing anything tangential, and any independent news outlet that so much as asked questions was excoriated, then dismissed as conspiracy theorists. The sitting president of the United States, the highest paid unelected government official in history, and every mainstream media outlet that towed the line spouted provably false information with impunity. Not only has time and the same real science repeatedly proven them wrong, but recently Pfizer execs flat out admitted that they didn't even test their product to see if it did the one thing it was designed to do before inflicting it on the fear porn and propaganda primed public. Said one Pfizer executive, "We had to really move at the speed of science to take a look at what is taking place in the market." Wait, why was Pfizer paying attention to the market instead of the science? In unrelated news, Pfizer Corp has made a record $101.276 billion profit since releasing said product, increasing their normal gains by nearly 84% year over year during the panic. New York City's sometimes capture but always release justice system has led to an epic crime spree, including subway murders skyrocketing to a high not seen in 25 years, even as ridership has declined to the point that the system can't pay for itself. After the Alzheimer's patient-in-chief bumbled his way through yet another bout of foot and mouth disease by saying, quote, "I have 2 words for you, made in America," and then, of course, repeating it twice again, made in America, made in America. Congresswoman Lauren Boebert tweeted out, 2 words, "Let's go Brandon." Not getting the joke, which they demonstrate in general because they keep voting them into office, the Blue Check Brigade were quick to jump in and correct her math. If only Democrats paid as much vitriolic attention to their leaders' idiocy as they do to those of us who point it out. In another brutal self-own, the hashtag #BuyFelicia was trending on Twitter after Tulsi Gabbard announced she was leaving the Democratic Party due to its misogyny, racism, and pedophilia. The Blue Checks were quick to point out that Tulsi was never truly a Democrat because she's always been too intelligent, level-headed, hardworking, well-meaning, and, frankly, attractive to have ever represented the DNC. Old Quid Pro Joe got another slap in the face when the Saudis outed his attempts to extort them by demanding they time their oil production to his midterms. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, President Donald Trump was brought up for impeachment because he asked about the former vice president's extortion of Ukraine. While absolutely no evidence was found of quid pro quo on Trump's part, Biden is on video bragging about doing it, not only back then in Ukraine, but today in Saudi Arabia. For CCW News, this has been Holy Crap, This Is Actually Happening. I'm Chuck U. Farley. Good night, and may God help us.